merchants. The Allen Mason Thomas had a store called A.M. Thomas Dry Goods Store. That was the whole bottom floor, what is now the Avis Block, Wickford. And a dry goods store is where you can buy anything that doesn't need to be refrigeration, essentially. And sold all that stuff. He did wonderfully throughout his life. He sent all of his sons. He valued education. Sent his sons, and you know, in the middle 1800s, sending your kids to college was quite an undertaking. He sent them all to college. They all did fantastically well. They all, though, remembered their roots were Wickford, and eventually they all came back to be buried here in Elm Grove. The reason I like this, to stop at this one, is just to think about this monumental obelisk that was brought here by the Thomases all the way from Wesley. It's the largest single piece of granite in this graveyard. This is a piece here. There's a seam here. There's a piece here, here, and here. But from here up, came to Wickford all the way from Westerly in a time frame before cranes and tractor trailer trucks and everything else, hauled here probably by horse-drawn wagons. All the way down the road, the Thomases wanted a place of prominence in the cemetery. And right at the end, they had this wonderful, this is the Thomas burials and Thomas burials over here as well, and had this thing erected here. I would just like to be a fly on the wall the day that these guys from Wesley came, hauling all of this incredible stuff and set this obelisk up, you know, more than 100 years ago, 150 years ago. Obviously, they did a pretty darn good job. It's this tall, this big, this massive, and it is still perfectly straight and true to this day. And it just gives me, I can't even imagine how what did they use to pick this piece up and put it on top of there in the age before hydraulic cranes. I mean, it must have been an incredible undertaking to watch them set this thing up. And like I said, Westerly granite, at the time frame that the Thomas Monument was being set up, was also being hauled from Westerly throughout all the battlefields of the Civil War, and monuments and statues just as big and grand as this were being set up all over the eastern half of the United States, all from Westerly. And again, you can see the amount of detail and the depth of carving that can be done on this fine-grained granite. Again, would not be possible in the granite that we purchase today. The story of the Wesley Granite Quarries is one of the saddest ones going. If you really want to get a stone carver really pissed off, say, hey, what about Wesley Granite? Because what happened is the quarries in Wesley are still there, still capable of producing this kind of monument stone. But being America, the money is not in monument stone anymore. It's in being able to take this stuff and crush it into various fine grains of gravel and stone. So all of this stuff is being mined out of the same quarries that it was mined out of in the 1800s and the early 1900s and made into the monuments that you see all across America. Now it's being made into various grain sizes of crushed stone and gravel. I guarantee you that I can get a monument carver fuming in 10 seconds just talking about it, because it just infuriates them to think that this quality, I mean, to them this is their canvas for the work that they do, and this canvas is no longer available